city, the music plays strong. Colors and laughter come join the song from the streets of Tijuana.
Hola y bienvenidos. I am Roman P. Reyes, your host for The Bravo Show. This is the premiere showing of a show that's going to be looking at artists, local artists, musicians, artists. And today we have a fantastic artist to take us through that journey. So introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Jim Covarrubias, and I'm an artist. I'm a painter and a writer and a filmmaker myself. So really happy to share my art with you.
Tell us just a little bit about your background. I know a lot of people know where you're from, but just real quickly, tell us what.
Well, I grew up in a small town in Arizona called Kingman. And I was very fortunate. We had some great teachers. Mm-hmm. A lot of my credit, early training to Mike McLeave, who was one of our teachers at Kingman.
Fantastic. Now, what led you to become an artist?
You know, it's kind of by accident. You know, when I got out of the Army, I went to ASU and took some art classes. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And I had, like I say, I had some training in high school. So the teacher right away recognized that I could paint.
Right.
So they said, Jim, you can paint whatever you want. And so I started a series of painting my own classmates.
Oh, fantastic.
And dealing with art and kind of discovering it.
Right.
And when I graduated from my first degree, I went to Europe.
Oh,
and I got to meet some friends over there, and of course the museums were an education.
Right.
I mean, I realized, you know, just how they could do that detail on painting.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is by looking at it.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know, I spent 2 days. It took me 2 days to go through the Louvre, through that 2 days. But anyway, being mentioned that you're growing up, the show, the Bravo Show, wants to highlight the talent of artists and musicians K through the university, and we want to be able to show our pueblo what talent that we have here in our community.
Beautiful. Yep.
Now let's talk a little bit about your art. What are we looking at here?
Okay, so this is a pretty simple painting in a sense, because it's a cactus flower. And for a while there, I did a whole series of them. I've had different agents, and they would sell the artwork for me. And this really went good, you know, the cactus flowers and the environment, and doing landscapes too, which a lot of artists I think should do in plein air.
Right.
Going out there and actually painting.
Let's move on, because we're going to have he has a tremendous treasure trove here. Tell us a little bit about this one here.
Well, I'm 50% Native American, and part of my blood is Tewa. And the Tewa people are in Second Mesa, and this is Suplea, who is the last snake priest for the Tewa people.
Oh my
in
goodness.
a place called Walpi on Second Mesa. So unfortunately, we don't have anybody now doing the snake dances, which you see, very, very interesting dances where one of the dancers has a snake in his mouth.
Oh my goodness, a live snake.
A live snake and rattlesnakes. And the other person over here is entertaining that snake with a prayer feather called a paho.
Right.
So that snake is looking at the feather, the other guy's over here dancing and say, don't let up, man, don't let up. But that's the playa. And this is like pretty much a monotone color, as you're a painter.
Yes.
So this is quinhydrine gold, which has the ability of going to kind of a bronze to a really light, you know, silvery color.
Now, let me ask you, as an artist, where do you get your inspiration? What do you think of when you get ready to start on a blank canvas?
You know, I've changed that process a lot. Before I would paint something or somebody, and that was like a portrait or doing a flower. Now what I do, and you'll see, I just throw the paint on the canvas, especially big canvases, and I discover what's there. I discover, do I want to make this into objects or use it just as abstract?
Exactly, right.
Because abstract art is a very unique learning process, I think, for art. You know, this is like when your really true soul comes out. What are you choosing here? And it's kind of beautiful just to say it's going to make color.
Now, is that part of your philosophy that deals with your art?
My philosophy about art is to discover it and I'm constantly learning. I can paint almost anything now, but I'm constantly learning about what I want to paint.
Right.
And so I get inspired now, and I get inspired now. I'll mainly do a small painting if I have an idea that I want to do something. Then I'll do a larger version of it, and you'll see that. So the small paintings, though, can be very unique, because what I do is I start those out the same way, without really thinking about it, and just kind of let the colors happen.
I know we got a lot to cover, but just let me ask you one more question.
Sure.
You're known as the fastest painter drawer in Arizona. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I was always fast. I ran track.
Right.
You know, but when I had graduated from college for my first degree, me and a friend started going to different studios like Fritz Shoulder, Bob McCall, Paulo Solari, and asking if we could do a television program.
Right.
And then hitting them with, you got to pay for it.
Oh, wow.
But we convinced many different people to do that. And sitting there, a fly on the wall, watching Bob McCall paint or Fritz Shoulder paint,
Right.
it was an
Oh,
education.
fantastic. That's
Yeah, and
historical.
Fritz turned around one time and said, "Are you stealing these ideas from me?" I said, "Yeah, I am."
Oh.
And he says, "Any smart person."
Well, there you go.
But I think that's another education, watching artists make
Right,
art.
exactly.
And this is my great aunt Rosa, who was a great artist,
Mm-hmm.
married to Miguel Covarrubias, who was illustrator for Vanity Fair. And Rosa was a dancer in her early life, very famous dancer,
Mm-hmm.
Ziegfeld Follies, Fred Astaire, that whole bit. And later on, they moved to Mexico, close to Frida and Diego Rivera, and she was best friends with Frida.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
And so this is her studio, and this really kind of an elegant palette
Mm-hmm.
where you got this play of, you know, these dark colors against these really bright little areas, but a really rich
Rich in color. I
tones.
love your palette.
Yeah.
I love your palette. It's so impressionistic. Now, let me ask you something. You have written a book on Frida Kahlo and your relatives?
Yeah, there is a couple of books on Frida Kahlo and my relatives. One of them is on Rosa Covarrubias, una americana que amó Mexico, an American who loved Mexico. And she was not only married to Miguel, but like I said, she's best friends with Frida, but she really gave a lot of respect to the culture and style
Right.
of Mexico, and introduced a lot of people to that.
Right.
You know, because they traveled around the United States and did the paintings for the World's Fair in San Francisco, that
Right.
kind of thing. And she just really loved it. And now she's one of the most famous Mexican artists.
Yeah.
And she's an Irish girl from LA.
Oh, my goodness. Let's move on here. And this is,
Another intriguing, you know, Frida was a heck of a smoker.
yes.
So I love her here, this kind of a serene look with a little venado, a little deer up there that's wounded with arrows. And that's the way she described herself in the self-portrait. She had herself in a really somber forest.
Right.
And she had these little deer that had been wounded with these arrows.
Well, she was a wounded lady.
She was a wounded lady,
Yes, right.
and used that metaphor, I think, very effectively to show how much pain, because you know, the deers are so delicate.
Yeah. Well, you know, I saw her show when I was in New Zealand. Of all places, she had a show over there, and it was phenomenal.
Oh,
it was
sure.
one of the highlights of my career,
Yeah.
seeing all the work. Let's move on a little bit here.
Yeah, this is, I lived in Ajijic, Mexico for a while.
Where?
Ajijic,
He. I thought you
south of Guadalajara. And it's on Lake Chapala. And so this is the mountains behind Lake Chapala, and these are floating lily pads.
Okay.
And the day I was out there painting this, I noticed underneath the lily pads there were black snakes,
Oh, wow.
a whole bunch of black snakes that would just follow the lily pads.
Sounds like
around.
politics to me.
Oh man, it was scary. And the guy said, "Don't worry, but you can go swimming in there." I said, "Ni modo, ni modo."
Oh, my goodness.
But beautiful place, you know, just really stunning. I did a lot of landscape.
Right.
Sold most of them. This is, you know, I always try and keep one or two from a series.
Exactly. Well, you know, what also with this is, reminds you when you were there. I would
Oh, yeah.
imagine so.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it kind of gives you a good feeling.
That's why I say, you know, artists should do plein air paintings where they're actually there and painting, you know.
Exactly. Oh, I love these two here.
And this one here has
I know there's
really-
a big old history behind this.
Yeah. This is Rosa Covarrubias
Yeah.
and Miguel Covarrubias.
Okay.
And Miguel was illustrator for Vanity Fair. His father was Secretary of the Interior under President Reyes. And so he grew up very privileged and kind of a brat, and they called him a chamaco. He would hang out with all the different artists downtown. And so that's where he met Diego Rivera and Siqueiros and Orozco.
Right.
And he was the youngest of the bunch at the time.
Man.
But his wit and his drawings really let people know that he was somebody special.
Right.
And when he became illustrator of Vanity Fair, he started a whole series called Encuentros, or meetings, where he would put like Rockefeller and Stalin together.
Wow.
And then they'd be in a cartoon, and he'd say something funny about it.
Right.
He was brilliant that way. He was
Yeah, kind
brilliant.
of like Posada.
So his smart assness
right, yeah.
carried off into the Vanity Fair, where he was there for many years. And
Well,
Rosa was a dancer. She won a dance contest in Los Angeles, and then went to New York.
What year is this? What year is this, more or less?
Oh, these are the early 20s.
Early 20s?
20s, yeah. And my grandfather's cousin.
Oh, wow.
So she went to New York as a young girl. She lied about her age. She was 16 years old.
Right.
and got into a Mexican review. She was half Mexican and Irish. And Miguel went to the show to see her. And afterwards, he went backstage with another guy, Beth Magard, had their press card. So they went back to meet her, and he talks to her in Spanish. Ay, que bonita, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And she just went blank because she didn't speak Spanish.
Oh, my goodness.
So he says, "You're a phony. You're in a Mexican review, and you can't speak Spanish."
Oh, my
So
goodness.
she says in her memoir, immediately I loved him and I hated him at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Let me ask you something. Now, this is a monochromatic almost painting.
One-eyed and gold.
Why did you do that?
Well, because it's kind of the tintype of that era. You know,
Exactly.
Yeah, it was monochromatic. Color started about that time.
Right.
You know, with some really brilliant, cameras they had. But early camera work was all tintype, brown,
Right.
beautiful. And I love that look, and it gives it nostalgia.
Exactly,
Gives it a time period kind of a
Yeah,
thing.
it puts you in that era.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the elegant people that
Let's
were
move on. We have a
Okay.
whole bunch of stuff.
Now, you asked how fast I am in painting. I did this in front of the Teachers Association at ASU in an hour.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
And when I started painting, I come in with one color. So I come in with this kind of really metallic green,
Right.
covered everything. But as I'm doing that, I kind of let the color be loose. So there's dark areas and light areas.
Right.
And then I come in with a dark color, define everything. The last thing I do is come in with that light color and then give it the accents that it needs. But the really fun part is that 90% of it is done with just a couple of colors.
Yeah,
You got to have it mapped out.
Right.
But I had no clue what I was going to do out here.
exactly. Which
So,
came up
and like
fantastic.
this horseman here is barely visible. That's all you kind of need for it. And this person on a Jaguar was just like so quintessential Mexicano.
Right.
And of course, this guy, the Zapatista, and the woman with the flowers around, that's a Miguel idea. Miguel did that. He did it.
With the little man up here.
Yeah, little guy, they're talking there. The little girl here with a book, the rooster. Yeah, this other little person here, it could be an Indian or it could be more modern. The frog, that was a nickname for Diego Rivera.
Right, the frog.
El Sapo,
Yeah,
right?
El Sapo.
And there's the lady on top here, this Indian princess or something, and the little boy reading. And then part of my heritage, I'm Mexican Native American, so I got a little buffalo skull there. And then an Olmeca, another Olmeca, and Miguel and Diego were buying a lot of Olmec ideas and discovering that. He wrote a book about it. And then his mother and child was from another painting they had done, very sensitive, of just this love for her children. And then these little figures in the back are kind of like quintessential Mexican Indian images.
Well, Jim, we're getting close to the end of this segment. It's been a powerful experience. Now, as we get ready to go, we're going to be continuing this series.
Good.
And so we'll be doing some more shows. But we want to thank you very much for the things that you do for our community. And for our audience, we stay tuned because we're going to be coming right back with another show. Gracias.
Dance to the rhythm, feel the heat. The Bravo show is here, it can't be beat. In the heart of the city, the music plays strong. Colors and laughter, come join the song. From the streets of Tijuana to LA's lights, we celebrate our roots, dancing through the night. Con el arte.